pretty interesting matchup that we've got coming up.
This is a super interesting matchup. This is Orbits versus Finesse, and there has been some roster changes since last season with both these rosters. We have Barcode on Orbits now, the ex-Finesse goalie, and Lilybun filling that spot on Finesse instead. So I don't know. There's drama behind there. I don't have the inside scoop on that yet, but it's like there's just a huge storyline here. Barcode. If Barcode wins this, it's like a huge I carried you guys moment. And but I would going into this, I do put Finesse as pretty heavy favorites. Puffy and Joker just kind of their resumes are very, very, very good, and it's hard to really go against them here.
Right, exactly. We're going to have to see how those two super stellar scorers go up against the literal definition of the Iron Wall in Barcode. And obviously they're going to be banning probably his Atlas for the majority of the set, I would imagine, unless there's some crazy other picks that need to get put away from the other members of Orbits. But I don't really see that being super the case, right? Like, you probably want to neuter that potential wall as much as you can. And we'll have to see. On the other side, Lumos is still a very good scorer, very good brawler, so anything could happen.
Yeah, the only other ban that I could possibly see come out is Hook Resets. Plays a lot of era. Kind of seen as a one trick, but definitely has other characters in the back pocket. So either can deal with the devil with that Atlas goalie, or perhaps look at this era instead. But you could also see them completely different. Depends on what they want to play, what they've been practicing. On the other side, could see Drakkar ban targeting Puffy. Although Puffy also just plays a lot of characters. Joker.
Right, same thing with Joker. Like, it's so rough to ban out forwards nowadays, right? Because they just swap to another equally good option most of the time, right? And whereas a lot of your goalies are one tricks because they could just choose a goalie that is not going to get banned throughout the majority of their games in solo, and all of a sudden they have to switch. It's an interesting little back and forth, but I don't know. We'll see. Overall, though, Finesse is probably seen as one of the top 4, right? When we looked at these power rankings, you could see there was a very clear distinction between the top 4 teams and then the rest of the pack. We are seeing in majority of these picks, Orbits is in that lower echelon, whereas Finesse is still pretty considered up in the contention for top 3, top 4.
Well, if we look at the records, Goats Esports it's like indisputably probably top 4, and then they've lost to Orbits and Sundubu, so that's top 3 at least right there. So I don't know where you're getting your numbers, Magic 8 Ball, but my numbers are telling me that this could go anyway, really.
Seems like we are going into the match right now. So we've got Oni Village, this Finesse Orbits matchup. We are seeing some very fun hovers and a very interesting ban, it looks like, coming out from Orbits.
Yeah, the Asher ban coming out in the era, targeting Hook Resets, makes a lot of sense. On Oni Village, maybe a bit more surprising. Maybe there's an awakening for that, but the Estelle is usually in the back pocket for Hook Resets, is going to be that secondary pick. And on Oni Village, that is Estelle's home ground. That's where you almost just to pick Estelle no matter what. So interesting to see that ban. I wonder if there's a cast the last start or something like that. This Finny is not going to be picked because it is banned, and instead we see the Dubu come out. He's very strong on this map.
Right, because especially on those side lanes, being able to fly up, being able to send out those Tofu Fortresses, going to be very nice for Barcode to put on some offensive pressure, which is what we've been seeing a lot from a lot of goalies, as we saw with the Vice goalies in that last set, right? Gumi scoring a majority of goals, but they can do it in other ways, and it's going to be interesting how they do it here. We've got Maddie, though, going to be in instead of Lilybun.
I forgot about this. I think this was known information, actually, that Maddie was going to be subbing in today. Lilybun couldn't make this week, I believe, is the story there. I could be wrong, but that's from what I remember. And Maddie actually getting the signature Kai pick, which is often banned back on when he was on PPL. So that's good, looking good, honestly, draft-wise for Finesse here.
Yeah, I really like this. Obviously, the Juliet might struggle to get things rolling here, but when she's got the core in her hands and is near a goal barrier or the goal line, it's pretty set in stone. But the other interesting thing is the Lumos Rasmus, right? That's a very nice pick here because of the speed ups, because of the hook that can reach from so far away. It's got a good opportunity to get these things like these goal barriers at a moment's notice.
Yeah, that added mobility is huge, and not only just that mobility from playing Rasmus, but you also stacks on stacks start. So almost everyone except for Barcode, who took Missile Prop, running the stacks on stacks, will be moving really fast. The flip comes out, almost gets that goal. Joker tries to find the angle out. Puffy's turn with flip here, and just stopped by Barcode, able to roll out, just cover up a lot of space there, and kind of is able to catch it no matter where it goes. Is the idea there, and is able to catch that immediate shot there. And now this really could go either way. Now flip's going even. Joker able to get that bottom right under Barcode. Get that shot.
And already a lot of these stacks are completely filled up. This is like a perfect storm for OD Village for people to start running away with the core. And I mean that quite literally, because of how these stacks just keep adding up, how it's so hard to get killed because of how big this map is. It's going to be interesting to see if Joker can actually get those KOs and reset those stacks. I think that's going to be a very big deal.
Yeah, that's definitely the big difference between these comps, is that Rasmus has a lot harder time just getting random picks or anything like that. They have to be standing really like right next to the edge, where you have a lot more leeway with that Julie. And if you can get one of those picks, that's really good with all these stacks online.
Gonna be crazy chaos right now as the goal gates are down once again for Orbits. Or for Finesse, excuse me. Resets is just trying to clear this one up at the top. Gonna be good. Maddie able to get the barrage across, but no, hook resets, it's there for the clear. And that's another even score. Just back and forth so far. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special.
Yeah, I said it was going to be hard for Lumos to find these KOs, but finds one onto Puffy, and that's a stack reset there. So have a little bit more momentum for Orbits coming into this next round, but that's the first goal barrier down, and probably another one coming soon here. That's all the cooldowns down from Barcode. If we can get a dash punch or a flip through here of Joker before anything comes up, could be looking good, but they're managing, Lumos did hook resets, managing to keep the pressure up so Barcode can take a second to breathe.
And that's something interesting as well, right? The Barcode generally has really solid positioning, but is able to get bounced around this time. Juliet just coming right at him, couldn't nowhere to run, and is going to get KO'd, but the core flip is going to stall it from hook resets, and Lumos is using these abilities almost perfectly in sync, and they're not going to be able to barely defend that. Oh, Orbits was so close to holding on during that 2v3, but the power play comes in clean, and that's going to be set point for Finesse.
Yeah, getting that KO there makes it so much easier to win that. Barcode doesn't have stacks, so no stacks reset, but it's very hard to defend without a goalie, but even with the goalie, immediately taking both goal barriers and then finishing it off, taking that point back, bringing us back to 2-2.
Yeah, that was so quick, right? And this is what I mean with running away with the core. Just a couple of hits from the Estelle and the Rasmus, which can very easily stuff you with those stuns and the abilities, and with those long-range hits, means that it's very hard. Maddie's doing a good job so far at keeping this one down. Has the energy burst at the ready, and so does Puffy, so this could be a good opportunity for Finesse to make sure they can secure this last goal barrier, but Joker's actually looking a little worse for weather. Stagger, but Puffy's on the core flip, tries to get it through. Another one comes through. Joker dashing, not going to find it, is going to get knocked away by the log, but this time it's going to come right back, and the orb is there. Going to be able to heal up for now, and it's looking like a good position for Finesse if they can just get this one past the monster that is hook resets, and they have not been able to get it through. They can't find a clear angle, and Lumos is right in the mix, is going to be able to get the goal barrier. The piercing shot's going to land, but Puffy's in the rotation, not going to be able to find that goal this time around. Barcode, they get past right through the members, and the punch stuns everyone to get a clean goal. Finesse takes the first set in a thriller.
That double stun was just absolutely ridiculous. Technically, one of them could have thrown an elusive out, but you just really don't expect both people to get hit with no size trainings. And already it's going to be an aerials or rapid fire. Almost, the big BD deny for sure. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. BD deny, if you give that Rasmus size, it is just a menace. But now, no matter what, yeah, blocking the aerials is really hard to deal with that long range Estelle cooldowns, and also just really good on you, especially with Strike Shot just coming out of favor. A different missile training or a different range training to help you as Kai is really useful, especially when you just want to run up through the speed lanes and take barriers, as Maddie's been doing already. The aerials helps a lot with that. Joker kind of forced to take this orb dancer.
Right.
Probably not gonna get too much off of that, but I don't really expect Joker to be dying too often, so that could scale pretty hard if it goes by, but double barrier.
Oh, okay. Couple of gold barriers as Barcode suddenly found slipping. It's trying to fly, but is gonna end up falling flat. Dash punch from Joker off to 45, and I mean, hey, that's very quick. I really think that Joker could be the decider for this game, specifically because of that dancer, combined with the stacks, combined with the slipstream. All of a sudden, this Juliet that had a really tough time positioning on this map can do it very easily as soon as those orbs come up.
Yeah, stacks is just great on every character, and kind of just turns every character. Like a lot of characters have weaknesses of maybe you can't move around as much as you can as other characters. You don't have a speed boost like Rasmus does to haste you up and get you in. Hook resets, nice shot there. You have the ult to shove it in. But with Joker on a character like Juliet, I would say stacks is better than built different. I don't think that's very controversial on this map for certain, because you're able to alleviate that that downside of maybe not being as mobile as other characters. Both gold barriers taking immediately really good combos here, and the flip to finish it off. These rounds are going by so fast, and that's not what you expect from Only Village, but maybe it is what you expect from a stacks on stacks start.
Right, I think that's the main difference, is because they're able to overcome the length that this map has and the traditional downside of playing it, the traditional reason that it's so hard to get these quick goals on. I also think it's just because the goalies are not prepared for these players to be moving this fast and being in such good positions. Like, look at that. Joker was just in their faces from midfield in such a short amount of time. Was not expecting it on the side of Barcode. And he's going to be able to turn it around. But overall, this is a very different kind of style game.
Yeah, Lumos looking real low here with the flip, but Puffy also in return. If they can get this KO here, that's a flip off table and stacks reset. But instead, the return KO, maybe they can still get Lumos, but Puffy is off the table and stacks reset instead. Flips offline, but does not matter. The double stun comes from a beam this time, and that's 2-2 once again.
And Hook resets. I know you mentioned that the arrow was the real pick for them, but this Estelle is looking very solid. Look at that Crystal Thorns that just completely gets a quick barrier, and they've been doing this consistently.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm thinking about that ban back, and it's just the reason why, I expect, honestly, even on this map, I expect Hook resets to just pick the Estelle over Era anyway. Oh, nice play from Lumos. The hook back into that sneaky shot to the bottom. Fools Maddie a little bit and gets that goal. Now that's tied 1-1, but
there was just that little bit of a hesitancy that really threw off Maddie. It's just such a little nuance that Lumos did put in there, and that was perfect.
Yeah, for sure. And going into this next draft, the Egoist comes out. That makes a lot of sense. I prefer quick strikes. A lot of people highly value Egoist. It's going to make sense, though. A lot of these points are coming down to getting flip and then using it. So once you get that flip and getting that speed boost, it's kind of ridiculous. It's really... everyone's already so fast. Imagine how fast Hook resets is going to be once the Egoist procs. Everyone else kind of getting just pretty mediocre trainings, other than the quick strike, I would say, is going to be the biggest thing to watch out for, is how these two Estelles are able to carry their teams through this next bit. Because...
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
I also really like the Egoist, particularly because, if Hook resets can play more along the sides on the slipstream and doesn't have to worry about Joker because he has more evades at the ready and can get those refruns, it's going to be a lot better, right? Just going to be able to play off of that a lot more consistently. But gold barriers go down for Orbits this time. Going to try and turn this one around, keep it on the other side of the field for the time being, but Puffy is going to be able to run away with it. Joker dashes that one in. Just nice little high jump kick. And overall, no team is really, I think, has the momentum currently. I think it's very back and forth, and both of these teams can score at any point, just given the way the core lands.
Yeah, like you were saying before, both goalies are having, it's really hard to deal with all of the, like, you have to deal with 2 forwards almost every time because they have the speed to move up and 2v1 you. Usually on this map you get the pass up and maybe your forward, like your brawler, usually gets a 1v1 with their goalie, but with Estelle and speed, you're getting a 2v1 almost every time, or at best a 2v2. So like both barriers immediately falling down. Great save there from that flip. Joker now has his own, looking to come up and make something happen, but Lumos is containing and has a flip of his own now, blocked by a multitude of abilities, mainly the barrage getting that through. Now Hook resets, having a chance to try to dribble up, give Lumos a chance. Instead, Lumos falls, the stacks are reset, but the flip is used in return from Joker. No longer has that as a scoring opportunity. Hook resets now in a possible 1v1 situation with Maddie. Might need to burn this flip, but Hook resets also getting a flip. Just like everyone's building flips so fast right now, and now, Maddie burns the flip early. Hook resets uses that chance and patience to find that top corner. Just a little panic moment there. Gets it to 1-1, but this is why this Egoist was picked, is because everyone's getting flipped. In these higher level matches, people are striking the core so much more, especially on Oni Village, so it makes so much sense to have that Egoist to help you out.
I was just about to comment on how Maddie was doing wonderfully in this goal during that volley, and in general, right? You know, PP Legends did not make it into NASL this time around, but Maddie can still contend with the best, and for a good reason. But wait a second, that's Barcode going down. Speaking of goalies, gonna try and punch this one in. This piercing shot lands on the goal barrier, and a Giga Blast is gonna send it right towards Hook Reset. It's gonna Rose Warp and not gonna be able to find the core with it. Joker just kicks it, and this is FNS starting to at least make some progress.
Yeah, Joker just walks up and kills Barcode for free, which was just insane way to start that sequence. But so far, it's the second time Barcode's died, which is not what you expected. Not what I really expected most rounds to go. But if they can keep getting that win, fulfilling that win condition, but instead the opposite's happening. Joker instead now getting punished for existing, really, and just now has to sit in the corner, hope he doesn't die. Lumos playing Rasmus, one of the best finishers in the map, or in the game. Estelle also really good at finishing, but able to just, through all that pressure, instead kind of find themselves out of position, and Puffy's able to get a good 1v1. Hooker sets her up to let me defend, probably not on purpose, but the KO! Maybe let me offend with that KO instead. Barcode now is flipped along with Lumos, and they have a power play, but does not matter. 2 flips, reverse power play. Joker dash punches that through Barcode. Cannot flip while stunned.
And there's a reason he was throwing out that emote. He knows that he can turn these games around. And like I said, the difference maker in these sets is this Juliet, and is going to be heavily rewarded with the Catalyst not going for the big fish.
Yeah, you need to take Catalyst. Not only is it super good on this map, and just every map really, Catalyst is just kind of insane.
Yeah.
Kind of maybe a little broken even. But you also can't let Hook resets get that. Because if you let Hook resets get that, then that's Catalyst Egoist on the same player, and that's just probably GG. So
yeah,
a bit of a take, a bit of a deny. Might have taken it anyway, to be honest. I would not be surprised. But Big Fish ended up on Puffy anyway, and the double size of Big Fish built different and quick strikes is going to make Puffy, even on this map, just a menace in the midfield. It's going to be so hard to get through this man. This is a huge Estelle.
Yeah, look at this. He's already winning basically all of these strike wars against Lumos, and they can barely do anything about it unless they send out some abilities. Gonna have the push right there. The core flip is gonna send Barcode into the goal. Oh goodness, this is gonna be a run away from FNS already. And the other thing too is Joker was getting hit a lot during specifically that last volley to try and turn things around, and they were trying to dump out damage on the side of Orbits. And now all of a sudden the Catalyst is going to make sure that they can't do that as effectively because of the Catalyst, because of how it gets hit away. But obviously if he's sitting by the side of the goal, the arena, he's going to get knocked out for it.
Yeah, missile prop. That's the first time that really has come into huge play for a KO purpose at least. But that is so annoying to play against. You don't expect it. It's so hard to get used to just this Debu ult. Having being able to go that far and just knock you back that much into the wall, you're just not expecting it. Puffy looking low here. Lumos has that specialized training, so would have actually been able to kill Puffy there if that landed, but it's not an easy ability to hit, and Puffy's able to just sidestep it, able to get that HP back, and now looking a bit more even. Hook resets, has the Egoist and the play. Loomhost able to win the Strike War to get that final barrier. Maddie does have Flip to possibly save this one. Lumos has it as well offensively and gets the KO as well. Lumos just sitting in front, waiting for the core to come to him, almost just falls in on its own anyway. Joker probably left to use it defensively, but instead Lumos finds it right in front of the goal and flips it in.
You know what I think is actually really important, though? Is that Joker died, right? So all of the stacks, the Orb Dancer, and the Prize Fighter all took a hit. So his effectiveness is going to be a little bit lowered. They really need to start trying to KO him, or else he's going to have so many stats and so many chances to turn these things around. They need to try and keep him down somehow, but again, he's already got Core Flip.
Yeah, already has Core Flip, is looking for Barcode right now. It knows a dash punch or ult dash punch plus flip usually just kind of KOs anyone, but not as bad as it did in beta, so able to survive Barcode is, and the flip, defensive flip, uses the primary to get through Joker there, but still 2 flips coming in here. Gonna be really hard to defend. A KO, just pure flip onto Barcode to take him out, the former teammate, but another just free KO goes through, and Joker's extremely low here and kind of has to stay back, but gets the orb, gets the dancer, moves up a little bit, just the whole 9 yards coming out from Dubu to take Joker back to low. One hook here just kills Joker from almost anywhere on the map if Lumos can find it, but instead Joker runs back to play defensively. Maddie moves up instead and is able to get the goal barrier, and now Joker playing kind of second goalie here, has enough evade now to survive, but can they mount an offense with Joker playing this far back with this low stagger?
They've dumped so many resources into trying to KO Joker and keep him staggered that I'm wondering if they're going to be able to get this goal barrier. It looks like they're not going to play end. Piercing shot and Rose Orb come through. Joker's on the bottom side, open for a little bit, but not for long, getting absolutely dumped on with abilities. Gonna get that Dancer, gonna find 2 orbs, so he's gonna be running fast. Does not find Lumos on the side. Is gonna find a very suspiciously placed Dubu with no cooldowns and a rogue evade. But, honestly, I thought that Barcode was gonna be the difference during this game. But it seems like every single time they walk up to him, Joker just has his number.
Yeah, Joker, if anyone's going to know how Barcode's going to play, it's going to be Joker and Puffy. It's a little funny seeing that matchup and seeing Joker coming out on top, and comes out on top of a KO and hook resets, and really no clear angle there. Puffy just covers everything, and that's the map 1 going to Finesse.
That is map 1, and very well deserved. Getting a couple of very solid awakenings, knowing how to play the draft, and knowing how to play the comp difference that they were given. Landing those KOs, understanding their early win condition, and finding success through Joker, and obviously with the help of Puffy, who is a monster on that Estelle. I'm curious what these stats are looking like. Just 6 KOs on both sides, but Joker was just nuts.
Yeah, the redirect differences are super interesting to look at. The midfielders, Hook resets and Puffy. Puffy with the quick strikes in double size, getting over 70 more redirects than Hook resets. On the other hand, you see Lumos was playing a lot more midfieldy and like working together with Hook resets, which is another reason why the redirects are a little bit lower as opposed to Joker, who tends to just play up a bit more, although was forced to play back quite a bit.
Yeah.
Although never getting KO'd, and that Catalyst was a big reason for that. Just having your evade up always is just might be a little good. It might be a little good to just never be able to be killed ever, because when you get hit, you get to evade more, which is usually the opposite. Usually when you get hit, you don't get to evade more because you have to use your evade to block damage, but this awakening seems to be pretty good. It's pretty good to get free elusive for getting hit by the other team.
And especially just like getting hit by like a couple of stray Estelle abilities that aren't gonna do like a ton of damage to you, like the special and the Rose Warp. Like, you're just gonna get free evade off of that, and then when something that actually wants to kill you tries to come and actually do that, you're good. You're just gonna evade. You're gonna walk out of there. You're gonna find the slipstream and just go away. Just a crazy scenario. But if you're on the side of Orbits, How do you adapt to that, right? What do you think they could have done differently, or do you think it was just a matter of the way the Awakenings fell?
It's really hard, right? Honestly, even just looking back at draft, it's from the beginning, it's just real tough because you're playing against Maddie on the signature Kai. You're playing against Joker and Puffy, who are going to be working together really well with Era Estelle. They know they have their roles and they can fill them pretty well. Where Hook Resets kind of has this small question mark of, like, do you want their Era's probably getting banned. So what are you going to pick? Are you going to try and ban the Estelle? You can't really ban Estelle. You kind of have to pick it. So you can't ban anything off of Finesse. You can't ban the Estelle. You could ban the Julie, but you probably don't even think it's worth banning because you want to play Rasmus and think that's probably the better pick anyway. So you might just want to have the Rasmus Julie matchup instead of doing something like a Rasmus Mirror. That would be kind of forced, or like Rasmus Asher, something like that.
And they were really worried about the Asher, it seems like, just because of the way that she could control the streams, and they wanted to try and force Joker onto the Julie and play a more core control comp around him, but it didn't end up working out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised to see just a straight up Kai ban come in. It depends on what the map is, but it's a standard ban against Maddie. Maddie does have other characters, but it's usually just what's expected. So we'll see heading into their next map if it's Aten City, which is a great Kai map. So. And another great Estelle map.
Right, I was about to mention that. This is going to be pretty much a similar situation, right? We're going to see a very similar draft, I'm expecting.
Yeah, I think so as well. Barcode, though, it's weird right now because a lot of people put Dubu and Atlas as not great picks, and there's the Kai ban coming out. Makes a lot of sense. The Era ban coming out as well. We're going to see an Estelle mirror almost like 10 out of 10 times here. Asher being hovered by Lumos. That could be... Ooh, Hook Resets hovering the Drakkar. I would find that kind of questionable, but Estelle mirror makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, just bread and butter, right? Having so much open field and so many options to deny is going to be so nice. But a full mirror coming out, the Kai going to get banned away, and Maddie is going to have to show what the Dubu can do. This is gonna be a little crazy.
All prime times. So
wait,
this
really?
Is gonna be ridiculous. Yeah.
No. This is gonna be so difficult to pull through. But like, yeah, we're just gonna see piercing shots going off like at all times. There's gonna be 4 of them on the field like the majority of the time.
The light show has begun. There's gonna be there's so many lasers just being thrown out through the center. Both these goalies should probably have a really hard time defending these goal barriers and the goals. I expect this match to be similar to the last one, where it's going by really quickly, but instead of it being because everyone's moving so quickly, it being because just so many abilities being thrown out and not enough to be able to deal with, but also just the amount of damage that can come out from having that extra cooldown that also does more damage already shown as Lumos gets taken out and Joker is staggered. Barcode has to use Flip defensively there to stall for Lumos, and now Lumos is back online, and Hook Resets now looking at a pretty good opportunity here on goal.
Looking at a pretty good opportunity. Joker's going to start getting chunked away. Lumos is on this side, a little dangerous, but he's going to find the Path Splitter to keep that core right there for Hook Resets, who lands that Rose Warp and just shoves it through the Dubu. Overall, though, like, this is going to, like you said, it's going to be different, but also very much similar. Both of these characters on the forwards are very good at stuffing, very good at just bursting their way through a Dubu. And so we're going to see these goal barriers fall and these goals come through very quickly. Because look at this situation. The Estelle coming through. The Asher's just sitting on top of this goalie.
No!
Oh, it's so rough if you're the Dubu in this situation.
Yeah, so much pressure. There's an Asher's just sitting on you. It's like, where can you really go? Sometimes you gotta go to your own goal, if I saw that correctly. Not really like there was a clear angle, though. Maybe to try to bounce off of the goal, your own goal, is really pretty smart there, actually, because that's might be the only way, is to try to stall something out. But not much you can do there. But also something I want to point out is that the same thing is happening as last game of Hook resets taking slick kicks and Puffy FPS taking magnetized souls. It makes sense to their playstyles with the KO there from just all the abilities, and now the goalie is gone, so probably gonna get this barrier, but maybe not, because this Joker able to hold this down. Asher just gets a free KO too with the flip, and now it's a reverse sort of power play now. Maddie able to walk up. This is such a hard spot. Almost is able to clear that. That was, if they cleared that, that would have been insane, but instead, FNS able to come up on top. But as I was saying before, Puffy taking these magnetized souls really shows, like, and Hook resets taking these slick kicks kind of plays to how they want to play the game. Puffy FPS wants to get it to Joker, wants to get the core to Joker, and Lumos and Hook resets want to work together to get a 2v1 on their goalie. That's kind of how they generally play the game. Slick kicks allows you to play up further a bit more and a bit more confidently, while Puffy's able to just stay hard in the midfield. Both have their merits. A lot of people, I personally I used to be a magnetized soul enjoyer. Now I really like slick kicks for being able to make plays once you're up front. But Hook resets dying to flip. Puffy gets the combo onto him, and he's not able to throw out the flip in time to save himself. So now Puffy, FPS, and Joker, they have this power play, and boy do they have cooldowns. Double prime time, you're just always going to have stuff up. Usually when you get a KO, you've used your cooldowns, and that's going to make it a little bit easier to defend, but with prime time, just has 2 beams. So what can you really do?
It's just beam once, then beam again, right?
Yeah, for sure. The double beam, I loved it in beta, still love it now. Stacks on stacks, incredibly powerful on this map. Although, so Puffy's going to have a huge target on his back for the rest of this game. With double prime time, they can just like insta kill him if they land everything. But quick strikes on Asher is also going to be pretty insane. Fire up makes a lot of sense to just empower your teams. Just in general, speed's going to be really strong, energy's really strong. And Monumentalist ending up on that Asher as well is going to... Everyone got something good here. I don't think anyone's too unhappy. I think everyone's just happy, to be honest. But I do think Puffy getting that stacks could be the difference this game.
Definitely could be the difference, right? Alongside those mag souls, going to be having absolute dominance in the midfield, and just like that, can instantly turn a situation near a goal box into an immediate goal with the prime time, with the speed. It's going to be very different. I also think something interesting, right, is that Hook resets usually plays Era, so it makes sense why he likes slick kicks more, because he's going to have that speed boost that he's used to working with to try and use the strikes to maintain those goals, to maintain that goal pressure. Which I think it's just like an interesting little, like, oh, it makes sense with the playstyle. But speaking of playstyles, this is already an open goal.
Yeah, the barriers are going to be going down quick. And Joker gets the KO as well, so now it's a power play situation. Puffy is low. Hook resets might be able to find something here, and he does. But now it's 2v2. Joker, however, if he can find any cooldown combo here, can probably put him in a good situation. But even with that pass through the midfield, it keeps getting to Joker, which is just... It's really good if they're able to consistently do this, and Joker just finds a KO! Just on this map, usually just this makeshift dash punch that Asher has just is enough if they're staying too close to the wall.
It's insane, because whenever you see any other Asher player, like, yeah, they can get KOs sometimes, but not as consistently as I've seen Joker be able to just shut people down and put out the damage, right? Like, it really is just a skill issue thing, because it's the pilot that really makes the character, and Joker makes this Asher look like it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Joker... Probably, I don't know, maybe I'm blanking, but I feel like Joker is really the only Asher that comes to mind when I think best Asher in the world. It goes 1 swag haver to the Joker for best Ashers in my heart, but love both of them. But Joker just makes this character look so different from anyone else piloting it. Lumos has flipped, so it's going to be targeted a lot here. The targeting is able to get them a goal barrier, though, but is traded very quickly. Puffy FPS now sitting in front of the goal, just waiting for this core to get through to him to get a shot with this flip. But instead, Lumos is able to break through. Instead, misses the flip there. And instead, we see a defensive flip from Puffy FPS to try to get to Joker. Hook resets, though, has to use it, or Joker's just going to kill him because of that prime time. It's just so scary, just having these 2 barrier beams that can just get through. Puffy finds the angle, though. A little bit of Puffy angle, if you will. past barcode and just secured a second set though.
Now, this is a very different set than a very different match than we saw during the first one. This is a complete overtake by FNS, who looks like they found their stride in the back half of that last match and just carried it through. Now that Joker is on one of his signature picks, and they played them in the mirror, which just to me just doesn't make any sense.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. But looking into this draft, this Awakening draft is just kind of best in slot overload. It's so weird that this Aerials and Deadeye are just going to end up kind of in a weird spot because you have this Orb Dancer and Orb Ponder. You're on Alten City. You have to take it. Puffy FPS now, again, #1 target. You have the stacks and the Orb Dancer. Well, instead it was Joker last time. It's Puffy this time. But they just absolutely laser beam Lumos. Already one man up, and this the great Tofu Fortress coming out from Maddie to keep that in play. And the abilities are up already. How do you deal with these barrier beams and these Estelle primaries? There's just so much coming at you.
I guess they're going to have to try and work around this Hook Resets Orb Ponder. Maybe just try and stall it out so that they can start churning out even more cooldowns, even more piercing shots, and try and turn this game around. But otherwise, Lumos is going to have to do immense work with these path splitters, with these core flips, if they could just get them off. But if they run straight into a wall and they try it, then it's not going to be worth it. Joker just energy bursts and kicks that player up out of the arena. That's going to be another one, as Hook Resets is standing in the middle of this field, tries to get the barrier beam, and tries to turn around with the 1v3. Hold on! Okay, he's not going to find it.
Yeah, the flip and dip is really smart there. It is really funny. I gotta get a screenshot of that moment of just Hook Reset standing alone in the middle of Alten City, just completely surrounded by red guys that just want to take him out. But tries his best. Honestly, he plays that really well, but not much you can do in a 1v3. And already next match.
Look at the level difference. Like, Orbits is so far behind, and Joker, even though he's got the low stagger, can still just keep turning out these abilities. Tries to energy burst and kill Hook Resets, gets KO'd for it in return. Nice little turnaround for Orbits at the very least, but these 2v3s also have not been leading to much for the members of Orbits. They finally get a goal barrier, but Joker's already back online. And this is Maddie with a glass cannon, and open goal, and a core flip to keep this pressure on.
And there's a core flip also knocking Lumos back, and the KO goes off, and that's also one of the three that they had, one of the 3 core flips down. Now Hook Resets looking to be KO'd here, and that's going to be another. It's going to be, if Hook Resets dies here, that's 2 flips just going away for nothing, but instead it goes away for nothing, and there's a KO. Now Puffy has the speed. They have 2 core flips. It would be insane if it doesn't end here, and it does. That's a 2-0, looking really clean on that Alten game too, to FNS.
That's a very, very strong showing from one of the easily potential playoff contenders, showing that even with a goalie that isn't a starter, they can completely dominate whoever comes in their path. That is FNS. And again, Orbits looked like they were doing really well during that first game, but could not find their footing in that mirror on Alten City. And that's going to do it. Just clean game.
Yeah, clean game. I believe we're going to have a desk segment or something coming up after this. But, yeah, just looking at these replays, it's just... There's so much. I want to see. I want to count how many times there's a player dead on Orbits when they get these goals, because it's just, I feel like it's going to happen so often, because that's just what's happened. They just immediately, they know their target, and they just got all their cooldowns down. That's 2 in a row with only 2. Barcode and Lumos being the only ones up. This time, all right.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Joker has almost dies, but just in perfect position anyway. Just like by accident almost, it seems. Just getting these KOs. And that's why their level advantage is just so high. Just able to just over and over get KOs. Once again, Puffy FPS, 101 redirects, the Hook at 68. Really just dominating the midfield. But really this time, it's more due to just being alive more often.
Yeah.
Like, like strictly one-on-one dominance. Like same with Joker getting 20 more redirects than Lumos. Just almost like 50 more redirects as a team is pretty crazy on a map like that, especially with prime time where everyone's going to be kind of inflated too. And they're not even using it. It feels like they're not even using it on the core as often as they're just using it on players. But
and the damage from Joker too, 24,000, completely eclipsing Lumos, right? As well as the KOs. And this is what I mean. Like he just pilots it better. And
I know Joker got that tempo swing, which is just really good on Asher. You already have a lot of stagger, so you just that percentage stagger damage just kind of goes really crazy. And especially with prime time, if you have prime time and tempo swing, you're basically just one-shotting people if you land 2 primaries. Yeah. So it's really hard to play against. And I've learned about that from Swag Haver, about how really good that tempo swing is on Asher. It's really good on a lot of characters. It's been underrated for a really long time.
Right.
And
now it's
really,
at least seen a little bit more often. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
in these games,
we are going to be sending it to some people who are going to be able to break this down a little bit more intricately than we can. There's going to be a death segment. Don't go anywhere. We're going to kick it back for a break. This is NASL Season 2, Week 1.